It was a cold morning when 8-year-old Emily noticed a trembling German shepherd under the old oak tree. His fur was matted, his ribs showing, but it was his eyes that stopped her cold. They weren't angry or wild. They were pleading. Then, something unbelievable happened. The dog lifted his front paws and begged. Emily froze. She had no idea that this moment, one small act of kindness, would uncover a secret buried deep in the past, a scar left by loss, and a bond that would make an entire town cry. What she didn't know was that this dog wasn't just any stray. He was once a hero, and fate had just brought him home. The morning sun filtered softly through the tall oak trees lining Maple Street. 8-year-old Emily skipped along the sidewalk, her pink backpack bouncing against her shoulders as she hummed her favorite tune. School was just a few blocks away, and everything seemed peaceful, until she noticed something unusual beneath the big oak tree near the park. A large German shepherd sat there, motionless, his fur matted with dirt and his ribs faintly visible through his coat. His eyes, dark and hollow, met hers for a fleeting second. Emily froze. He didn't growl. He didn't bark. Instead, he lifted his front paws and pressed them together, almost like he was begging. Her heart clenched. "Hey, boy," she whispered softly, taking a cautious step forward. The dog whimpered, lowering his head as if afraid she might leave. Slowly, Emily reached into her lunch bag and pulled out half a sandwich. "It's okay," she murmured, holding it out. The German shepherd sniffed the air, then gently took the sandwich from her hand, careful not to bite her fingers. For a brief moment, his tail gave a faint wag. Behind her, the school bus honked impatiently, but Emily couldn't move. Something in that dog's eyes told her. He was begging for more than just food. From that morning on, Emily couldn't stop thinking about the dog under the oak tree. Every day before school, she stopped by to see him. She named him Rex. He would wag his tail weakly whenever she arrived, as if waiting just for her. Emily brought him water in a small bowl and shared bits of her lunch. Watching as he ate slowly, his eyes soft but sad. One chilly morning, as she gently petted him, her fingers brushed against something rough beneath his fur. She frowned and looked closer. Around his neck was a faint, hairless ring, a deep scar where a collar had once been. Her stomach tightened. "Who did this to you?" she whispered. Rex looked away, pressing his head against her knee as if hiding from the memory. When she touched his back leg, he whimpered and flinched. That's when she saw it, a dark wound that hadn't healed. Emily's heart pounded. She wrapped her scarf around him, tears welling in her eyes. Later that afternoon, she returned with more food, but something new caught her attention, a rusted chain half buried near the tree's roots. Her breath hitched. Someone had tied him there and left him to die. "Mom, there's a dog by the park. He's hurt really bad. We have to help him," she pleaded, her voice trembling. "The one under the big oak tree. He's starving, and someone chained him there. Please, Mom." Emily's eyes filled with tears, her words tumbling over each other. "He's begging for help." Her mother hesitated, unsure if it was safe. "Honey, we can't just bring home a stray dog. What if he bites?" Emily shook her head fiercely. "He won't. He's gentle. He trusts me." Her voice broke. "If we don't help him, he'll die." Something in her daughter's eyes made her stop arguing. Moments later, they were in the car, driving toward the oak tree. When they arrived, the sight broke her mother's heart. The German shepherd lay curled on the cold ground, shivering, still tethered to the rusted chain. Emily dropped to her knees beside him. "I told you I'd come back," she whispered, stroking his head. Together, they freed him and carefully lifted him into the car. As the engine started, Rex let out a faint whimper, half pain, half relief. Emily reached over, resting her hand on his paw. "You're safe now," she murmured. "I promise, I'll never let you be alone again." The next morning, Rex lay wrapped in a soft blanket at the veterinary clinic. Dr. Harris, a kind woman with gentle eyes, examined him carefully. Emily stood nearby, clutching her mom's hand. "Will he be okay?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Doctor Harris smiled faintly. "With care, yes. He's strong. But he's been through something terrible." She pointed to the faint letters etched on a metal tag buried in Rex's fur. Emily's mom leaned closer and gasped. "It says, K9 unit." They exchanged stunned looks. The vet continued. "He wasn't just any dog. He was a police K9." Later that day, Emily's mom searched the name online, Officer Daniels. Her eyes widened as she read. Officer Daniels died in an explosion 6 months ago, she murmured. His partner, Rex, went missing that same night. Emily's heart broke. She looked down at the dog sleeping peacefully beside her. You weren't abandoned, she whispered tearfully. You lost your best friend. When Rex woke, he stared at Emily for a long time, as if sensing she understood. She gently hugged him, whispering, "You're home now." The next morning, Emily and her mom drove to the police station. When the officers saw Rex, silence filled the room. One finally whispered, "It's him, Officer Daniels' dog." Emily smiled softly. "He's not just a police dog anymore," she said. "He's family." Days turned into weeks, and Rex slowly began to heal, body and soul. The once scared German shepherd now followed her everywhere. Each morning, he walked her to school, waiting by the gate until she returned. The other kids adored him, calling him the brave police dog. But to Emily, he was more than that. He was family. Rex had changed too. The haunted look in his eyes was replaced by quiet strength. He seemed to understand every word Emily said. One afternoon, as they walked home, thick smoke filled the sky a few blocks away. "Fire!" someone shouted. Without hesitation, Rex bolted toward the burning house. "Rex, stop!" Emily screamed, but he was already inside. Moments later, he reappeared, his fur singed, coughing, but carrying a tiny kitten gently in his mouth. The crowd gasped. A firefighter ran forward, stunned. He went back in. "For the kitten," he said in disbelief. Emily threw her arms around him, tears of pride streaming down her face. "You're still a hero," she whispered. From that day on, Rex became the heart of the neighborhood. Children brought him treats, and adults called him the miracle dog. But to Emily, he was something even greater, proof that love can heal even the deepest scars. "You saved them," she whispered one night, hugging him close. "But really, Rex, you saved me." He was no longer the trembling, abandoned dog under the oak tree. He was strong, happy, and full of life. Every evening, Emily and her mom took him on walks, his tail wagging proudly as neighbors waved and smiled. But one afternoon, a letter arrived that changed everything. It was from Officer Daniels' sister, Claire. She had seen Rex's rescue story online and wanted to meet the girl who had saved her brother's partner. Emily's mom looked at her gently. "Would you like that?" Emily nodded, though her heart raced. When Claire arrived, tears filled her eyes the moment she saw Rex. "You remember me, don't you?" she whispered, kneeling. Rex froze, then let out a soft whine, recognition flashing in his eyes. He pressed his head into her arms, tail thumping. Claire sobbed, hugging him tightly. "You were my brother's best friend, and his hero." Emily stood beside them, tears streaming down her face. "He's part of our family now," she said softly. Claire smiled through her tears. "Then he's right where he belongs." That evening, the police department held a small ceremony in Rex's honor. The chief presented Emily with a medal for compassion and bravery. Cameras flashed, but all Emily saw was Rex sitting proudly beside her, wearing his new collar engraved with a single word, "Home." Later that night, under the same oak tree where it all began, Emily whispered, "You were never really abandoned, were you?" Rex looked up, his eyes glistening in the moonlight, then gently placed his paw on her lap.